Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to your Saturday. Tonight I'm going to be doing a 60-minute vinyasa flow class. I'm not going to be cueing any props, but 2 blocks on a blanket might be helpful if you usually use them in your practice. We're going to start off in child's pose. So coming to find knees directly under hips and then sinking your hips back towards your heels. Let your hands stretch out in front of you as you release elbows and forehead down to the floor. If you have my playlist, go ahead and start that now. And just taking a moment to come into your breath. Notice how the breath feels in your body in this position. You can feel your belly expanding between your thighs. Or feel yourself sending breath in between your shoulder blades into your back body. And with each exhale, melting a little bit further into the floor. Tune into the physical sensations of your body here. Places that are in contact with the floor. Connect to a feeling of grounding in your breath and in this pose. And when you're ready, come into finding your Ujjayi breath. Finding slight tension in the back of your throat, as if you're breathing to fog up a mirror as you take inhales and exhales through your nose. Making an oceanic sound with both parts of the breath. This breath translates to the victorious breath, and we use it throughout vinyasa and hatha practices to help us power through the practice and to pair movement and breath. Finding this breath now in stillness before we use it in the active practice. When you're ready, find some energy in your hands and gently walk them over to the left side of your mat. Maybe right hand comes on top of left as you melt your forehead back towards the earth. Grounding right sit bone in place. Finding a gentle side body stretch. Next inhale, coming back through center, and eventually walking over to the right side of your mat. Again, maybe left hand comes on top of right as you melt down into the floor. And eventually, an inhale takes you back to center, and exhale to release down to the mat. Let your forehead be heavy into the mat. Arms are relaxed. When you're ready, inhale to roll up to your spine, coming into cow pose, arching your back, releasing belly down to the floor, gaze shifts up. Exhale to press the floor away, rounding your back into cat pose. Inhale, spiraling chest open to cow. Exhale to press through cat and into child's pose. Making this a little bit active, keeping energy through your arms. Inhale to come back up, cow pose. Exhale, press the floor away, cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale to roll back down into child's. Taking that 2 more times at your own pace. How much can you luxuriate through each vertebrae of your spine? Making this movement as fluid as possible. And finding some freedom to take it where it feels good to you. On your next inhale, coming up to cow pose, and then exhale to find a neutral tabletop. Check your alignment with wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Do you find your hasta bandha, pressing finger pads into the floor, finding a little space under the palm of each hand, supporting your wrists, elbows, and shoulders. And when you're ready, inhale to extend right leg back behind you. Take a moment to press through that ankle, finding any movement there. Eventually on an inhale, raising right leg up off the floor, toes point down. Stay for the inhale. Exhale to bow forward, bending elbows. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bringing knee towards nose, pressing the floor away, thinking cat pose. Inhale to extend. Exhale to bow forward. Inhale, coming up, lifting left arm up off the ground. Exhale, knee to nose, press the ground away. Elbow coming in. Inhale, extend back out, energizing through the heel and through your left fingertips. Stay here for one more inhale. Exhale, everything comes back to the ground. Take a moment of any movement of the spine. And when you're ready, inhale, extending left leg back behind you. Rolling through that ankle. Finding movement into that joint. And eventually finding stillness. Inhale to lift left leg up off the ground. Exhale to bow forward, elbows hugging into your sides. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, knee to nose, press the floor away, thinking cat pose. Inhale, extend back out. Exhale to bow. Inhale, coming back up, extend right arm out in front of you. Thumb pointing up, extending through fingertips. Exhale, knee to elbow. Again, press the floor away, rounding back. Inhale to extend. Stay for a breath. Taking one more inhale. And exhale to come back down to the mat. We'll take that one more time on each side. Moving a little bit faster. Inhale to extend. Right leg behind you and lift it up off the mat. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale to rise. Exhale, knee to nose. Press the floor away. Inhale, extend. Exhale to bow. Inhale, coming back up, extending left arm out. Exhale, knee to nose, knee to elbow. Inhale to extend. Exhale, everything comes back to the mat. Inhale, extending left leg out off of the mat. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale to bow. Inhale, coming back up. Extend right arm in front of you. Exhale, elbow to knee. Pressing the floor away. Inhale, extend. Exhale, everything comes back to the mat. Stay for an inhale, finding a little bit of a cow pose, arching your back. And exhale to sink back into child's. Let your heart melt down to the ground. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Noticing if there's any areas of tension that you can release. When you're ready, inhale to roll up to cow pose. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog, tuck your toes. Inhale, coming back to cow pose. Exhale to melt down into child's pose. Again, inhale, cow. Tuck your toes, exhale, downward facing dog. Bend your back, inhale, coming into cow. Exhale to melt back, child's pose. Taking that 2 more times at your own breath pace. Again, how much can you luxuriate through this movement? Finding as much range of motion in every joint, every movement that you can. Making the breath guide the movement. And eventually coming up and finding an ending in downward facing dog. Find your feet hips width apart at the back of your mat. Equal energy and weight in our arms and legs. Take a moment of any conscious movement, maybe bending into one knee and the other, or spiraling one knee and then the other into the center of your mat. Maybe you take a deep bend in both knees, dialing hips up to the sky, allowing your chest to drop even further down towards your thighs. Keep the breath flowing. When you're ready, inhale to rise up high on your toes and undulate forward into plank pose. Opening your chest, head looks forward. Exhale, bend your knees, shift back, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming up onto your toes, shift forward over your hands, plank pose. Exhale, knees bend, press back, downward facing dog. Flow through that a few more times at your own breath pace. As we build movement, still trying to maintain that fluid quality. Taking one more wherever you are. Eventually meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale to rise up high on your toes, look forward to the top of your mat and carefully step between your hands. Finding a forward fold, let everything go. Relax your head, relax your shoulders. Deeply bend your knees and slowly roll up to Tadasana Mountain Pose. Let your shoulders roll up, back, and down your spine. Fingers energized towards the floor. Find length and opening in your chest. Take a moment here to feel your feet grounding into the earth. And when you're ready, we'll start to flow. Inhale, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Exhale, swan dive forward, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, coming to fingertips, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, step back, plank pose. Stay for an inhale. Exhale to release knees and feet down to the ground and lower all the way down to your belly. Reposition hands under shoulders. Inhale to cobra. Tractioning elbows back towards your hips. Extending your chest forward. Exhale to release down to the ground. Inhale through tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise up high on your toes, look to the top of your mat and step or float between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms overhead, upward salute. Exhale, hands to heart center. Doing that one more time with variations. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, deep bend in the knees, swan dive forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, step back, plank pose. Stay for the inhale. Exhale to either continue with knees down cobra or shift forward over your hands and slowly bend your elbows until your chest is about 6 inches off the floor before flipping over your feet. Thighs don't touch the mat. Upward facing dog on the inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Finding a breath in downward facing dog. Inhale to rise up high on your toes and step or float to the top of your mat. For the rest of class, whenever I call a chaturanga or vinyasa, either of those options of knees down cobra or chaturanga to up dog are great options. Take one more inhale in your forward fold. Exhale to let it all go. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive forward, hands meet the floor, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, step back, plank pose. Take your variation. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Once you find downward facing dog, take a moment of any conscious movement. And when you're ready, inhale to lift the right leg up behind you for three-legged dog. Rising up high onto the ball of your left foot, exhale to step between your hands for a runner's lunge. Spiraling back heel down. Inhale to rise, arms overhead into warrior one. Hips and shoulders facing the front of your mat. Stay for an inhale. Exhale to goal, push your arms, opening through your chest, gaze shifts up. Finding hands clasping behind your breath, inhale into a back bend here. Finding even more space in your chest. Exhale to fold forward, humble warrior. Inhale, arms up overhead, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back into plank, take a vinyasa or press back, downward facing dog. Eventually finding a moment of stillness in your downward dog. Inhale to lift left leg up off the ground, rise up high onto the ball of right foot and step between your hands for a runner's lunge. Spiraling back heel down, inhale to rise, warrior one. Stay for a breath. Inhale to find a little bit more length. Exhale to goal post the arms, standing through the chest. Clasp arms behind your back. Inhale to a back bend. Maybe palms touch. Exhale, humble warrior. Let your arms release over your head. Inhale, arms sweep up, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose. Take a vinyasa or just press back, downward facing dog. We're going to take that 2 more times to each side. Option to take it at your own breath pace now. If not, follow my cues for 1 more round, and then I'll let you take it at your own breath pace for the final round. Inhale to raise, right foot up off the mat. Exhale, step forward between your hands, runner's lunge. Inhale, arms overhead, warrior one. Exhale to goalpost, arms opening chest. Clasp hands behind your back. Inhale to take a back bend. Exhale, humble warrior. Inhale, warrior one, arms up, nice and strong. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose, take a vinyasa or press back, downward facing dog. Whenever you're finding downward facing dog, take a moment to check in with Hasta Bandha, pressing finger pads into the floor, supporting shoulders. Hip points pointing up to the ceiling. Eventually inhale, left leg up off the ground. Exhale to step forward between your hands. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, goalpost your arms. Inhale to find a back bend, clasping hands behind your back. Exhale to humble warrior. Inhale, arms up, warrior one. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose. Take your variation or press back, downward facing dog. When you arrive at downward facing dog, taking that same flow 1 more time at your own breath pace. If you get lost, option to look up at me. Taking this as fast or as slow as you'd like. Again, seeing how much you can luxuriate through each movement. Allow the breath to carry the movement. When you find yourself finally back in downward facing dog, take a few breaths in either downward facing dog or child's pose. When you're ready, meeting back in downward facing dog. Find a moment of stillness, pressing into hands and feet. Inhale to rise up onto your toes, looking forward to the front of your mat. And on the bottom of your exhale, step or float between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms overhead, upward salute. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment, feeling energy balancing between left and right side body. Breath is flowing. When you're ready, hook of thumbs. Inhale, arms overhead, finding a moon salutation. Exhale, hands crossed behind your back, deeply bending your knees, forward fold. Let your wrists fall over your head. Shifting weight onto left foot, take a large right step back into a runner's lunge. Inhale to rise, finding a little back bend here. Inhale, arms overhead, deepening your back bend to crescent lunge. Stay for an inhale, exhale to deeply bend front knee, pitching forward, warrior three. Stay for a breath or two. On your inhale, stepping back into crescent warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose. Take a vinyasa of your choice. We'll meet in downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lifting right leg up off the mat. Take a large right step in between your hands. Inhale, arms up for air one variation. Stay here for a breath. Exhale to clasp hands behind your back, finding a back bend here. Exhale, humble warrior. Take a bend in your back knee and step to the front of your mat, forward fold. Releasing your head. Inhale, hooking thumbs, rising up. The gaze shifts up, upward salute. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take that onto the left side, paying attention to cues. And then we'll take the entire flow one more time on both sides. Inhale, thumbs clasp, arms overhead. Exhale, swinging arms back, clasp hands to a forward fold. Shift foot, weight into right foot, and take a large left step back into a runner's lunge. Inhale to come up, crescent warrior. Inhale, arms overhead, deepening your back bend. Stay for the inhale. Exhale to pitch forward, warrior three. Finding strength in your supporting leg. On your inhale, stepping back into crescent warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose. Stay for an inhale. Exhale to take your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Inhale to lift left leg up over the mat. Exhale, stepping left foot in between your hands. Inhale, coming up to a warrior one variation. Exhale, goalpost your arms, crossing behind your back as we did earlier. Inhale to find a back bend. Stay for an in-breath. Exhale to fold forward into humble warrior variation. Bending into your back knee, step to the front of your mat into forward fold. Inhale, linking thumbs, arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, arms to heart center. Take a moment of breath. And when you're ready, taking that one more time to each side. At your own breath pace. If you'd like to use me as your guide, looking up at the camera, but trying to make this about your own practice in your own body. Finding what feels good to you. Allowing the breath to carry the movement. Maybe taking a few breaths before you take it to the other side. Eventually thumbs wing as you inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take your time to find this pose. If you're already there, find energy in your feet. Pulling all the way up to the crown of your head. Breath is flowing. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, swan dive forward. Hands to the floor, forward fold. Take a moment here, maybe finding hand to opposite elbow. Swing a little bit back and forth. Letting everything go. Head is heavy. Knees bend as much as you'd like. When you're ready, hands come back to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, step back, plank pose. Stay for the inhale. Exhale to take your vinyasa or just press back, warrior to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in either downward facing dog or child's pose. Maybe grabbing some water now. Eventually we meet back in downward facing dog. When you're ready, step your feet together at the back of your mat. Big toes touch. Inhale to lift right leg, hips stack on top of hips. Find a puff of air under left shoulder to stabilize your shoulders on both sides. Exhale to step your foot forward between your hands. Back heel spirals down so that front heel is in line with the back of midfoot. Inhale to rise, exhale, saddle warrior 2. Breath is flowing. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, side angle. Opening through left side body, spiraling left rib open. Inhale to reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel down. Hands frame your foot, step back to plank pose. Take your vinyasa. Maybe in downward facing dog. Eventually finding downward facing dog. Even weight in hands and feet. When you're ready, block feet together at the back of your mat, big toes touch. Inhale to lift left leg up off the mat. Stacking hip on top of hip. Find support in right shoulder. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, left foot steps between your hands. Back foot spirals down, inhale to rise. Exhale, settle, warrior 2. You find a 90-degree bend in your front knee. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, side angle. Extending through right side body, spiraling open rib cage. Stay for the inhale. And an exhale. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, cartwheel down to the floor. Hands frame foot, step back, plank pose. Take your vinyasa, we meet in downward facing dog. We're going to take that flow 2 more times to each side. I will cue you through run time. If you'd like to go off on your own pace, that's totally fine. But if you'd like to follow my voice for 1 more round and then take it at your own breath pace for the final round. Stepping feet together at the back of your front, the back of your mat. Inhale, right leg up overhead. Exhale, step forward in between your hands. Spiraling back heel down, inhale, rise. Exhale, settle, warrior 2. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, right away, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel, hands to the mat, step back down, plank pose. Take your vinyasa, finding downward facing dog. Take a few neutralizing breaths in downward facing dog. And when you're ready, step feet together at the back of your mat, big toes touch, inhale. Left leg up off the mat, finding hips stacked on top of hip. Exhale, step forward between your hands, spiral back, heel down. Inhale to rise, exhale, settle warrior two. Inhale to reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel, hands to the mat, step back, plank pose. Take your vinyasa, eventually finding downward facing dog. Eventually finding downward facing dog. Let your heels drop down to the mat. And when you're ready, taking that same flow one more time at your own breath pace. If you need a reminder of the flow, looking up at me. Letting your breath dictate the movement. When you're done, finding either downward facing dog or child's pose for a few breaths. Let your breath flow, heart melts forward. When you're ready, meeting back in downward facing dog if you're not there already. Inhale to rise up high on your toes and hop or step to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Coming into toe balance, sink your hips down deeply so hips rise on top of heels. Coming up to tented fingertips. Or maybe releasing the floor. Engage Uddiyana Bandha. Open through your chest. Find your drishti, your gaze strictly in front of you. Maybe you stay here, maybe if you'd like. Arms come forward or overhead. Maybe you come to twist deeply to the right. If you're there, maybe hands come down towards the mat, heading towards side crane. If you'd like to find a blanket as a crash pad, that's a great option. To the left, right side of your mat, maybe you find that you need to scooch over a little bit. If you're here, finding your elbows to the outside of your right leg and squeezing your elbows to your leg. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you float one or both feet up off the mat, engaging Hasta Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. Coming in and out of the pose as much as you'd like, and giving yourself permission to fall. As long as you're safe, turning head away from the floor to protect your nose. Taking a few moments to play with that. Again, eventually coming back into a neutral toe balance. Maybe taking a step over to the right side of your mat if you think you'll need the extra space. Calming to sit up tall, opening your chest, fingertips extend down. Maybe you stay here or arms start to rise up above head. Maybe you stay here or come to twist towards the left side of your mat, finding elbows to the side of your left leg, thinking chaturanga arms, squeezing elbows together. Maybe you stay here or you start to gently float legs up off the ground. Engage Hasta Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha. And breathe. Coming in and out of this as much as you'd like. Playing with that for as long as you'd like. And eventually coming back into toe balance. Maybe release your heels down to get a little stretch in your Achilles. Extending hands forward in front of you to stay on your feet. And when you're ready, come to release knees down to the ground. And sit back on your toes to give them a little stretch and release. Eventually come to release down into rock pose. Finding a tall spine, sitting on your heels. We're going to take some back bends now, moving into variations of camel. Maybe finding blocks behind you if you think that will be helpful. Wherever you are, coming up to sit on your knees, the hips are lifted. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine and find your hands to your lower back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to start a slight back bend, hinging shoulder blades together. Maybe you stay here. This is a great place to stay. I can't do it while talking, but maybe you release hands at the same time back to your heels. Watch for demo if you'd like. Finding a place to suspend for a few breaths. Allowing the head to release back. And when you're ready to come out, shooting your hips forward to come back. Symmetrically, both sides at the same time. And come down to a rock pose for a moment to breathe. Refrain from curling your back in yet, as we're going to take some more of those. Just find a moment of breath here, allowing your back to neutralize. When you're ready, coming back up onto your knees again, finding hands to your back. Maybe staying in a supported back bend here, or releasing both hands at the same time to come into camel pose. Think of shifting hips forward to deepen the back bend. Stay for a few more breaths. If this is feeling like too much, option to take bridge pose at any time as an alternative. Stay for one more breath. And when you're ready, hips pull forward, coming out of the pose again, sitting back into rock pose. Noticing any effects of that pose. You allow your spine to neutralize gently. And when you're ready, one more time, coming up onto knees. Finding hands maybe to your back as you press your hips forward. And eventually release both hands at the same time, coming into camel. Pressing hips forward. Expanding through front body. Stay for one more breath. And coming up evenly. This prepares you for future drop backs or other more challenging back bends. Come to sit back on your heels. Again, not rounding your back yet. Coming into the tabletop thinking, taking your knees wide to the edges of your mat and sinking down into a wide-legged child's pose. Let your chest melt down, forehead heavy on the floor. And just breathe. Maybe rock your head from side to side, massaging your forehead into the ground. If any subtle movement feels good, taking that. And when you're ready, bring weight back into your hands. Just slowly walk back up into a variation of rock pose. Shift your hips over to the side of your ankles and swing your feet around. Scoot forward to the front of your mat so you have some space, finding feet to the ground, knees pointing up. We're going into variation of Navasana boat pose. Coming to find back straight, hands behind your thighs. Option to stay here, shifting back slightly to engage your core. Maybe you come to hover, toes off the floor, or heels, maybe legs extend up to a 90-degree angle parallel with the floor. Maybe you release your hands. Maybe legs extend. And if you're feeling it, maybe arms come up overhead, staying for a few breaths. Allow breath to flow here, energizing through heels and fingertips. 3 more breaths. Inhale to extend a little bit more. Exhale to slowly lower down onto your back. Draw your knees up to the ceiling. Take a moment to rock your knees from one side to the other, windshield wipering your legs. Releasing your lower back. Eventually finding stillness with both knees pointing up. Pull your knees into your chest and give them a squeeze. Rocking back and forth and up and down your spine. Eventually finding both feet to the ground, knees point up. And come to hug right knee into your chest. Giving it a squeeze. Let your breath and heart rate come to settle as we're slowing down. And eventually extend your right leg up overhead, finding hands anywhere along the back of right leg. Option to find a strap here, where if you are pressing your leg into your hands, as if pulling it away from your face and trying to bend your knee to activate the stretch. Maybe this allows you to go a little bit deeper. Pulling elbows apart from each other. As your nose aims towards your leg. If you'd like to extend left leg, that is an option. Stay for an inhale. And on your exhale, cross right shin, right ankle over left knee, finding a figure 4 stretch. Take just a moment to press open your right knee with both hips and left foot down on the ground. When you're ready, pull your left knee up. If you'd like, maybe you stay with left knee and left foot down on the mat if that feels better in your body. Tailbone roots down into the ground. Maybe swaying a little bit right and left, back and forth to find sweet spot in this pose. Press your right shin into your left knee to activate the stretch. Find energy through both of your feet, especially your right foot to protect your ankle. Even though you are activating muscles, can you find a sense of ease in this pose? Taking one more inhale, and exhale to release left foot down to the mat. Deeply cross right foot over left, and then pull both knees up towards your chest. Shift your hips a couple inches to the right as you release both knees to the left side of your mat, finding an eagle twist. Maybe ankle tuck. Once your legs have stopped moving, maybe gaze shifts over right palm. How can you feel your breath expanding in this pose? As you deepen your twist, right shoulder is heavy towards the mat. When you're ready, release the cross of your legs. Gaze shifts back up as you pull both knees in towards your chest and slowly roll onto your back. Release your feet to the floor and neutralize your hips. Be prepared to take the other side. Coming to pull right knee and left knee into chest. Giving it a little squeeze, massaging it in the joint. When you're ready, extend left leg up overhead, finding hands to anywhere along the back of your left leg. Flex through your left foot, as if you're pressing away the ceiling. Wherever you are, pressing some resistance into your hands, as if you're trying to press your foot away from your face and bend your knee a little bit to activate the stretch. Elbows can pull outwards to right and left sides of your body as you maintain your shoulders pressing down away from ears. Staying for one more inhale. And exhale to cross your left ankle over right knee. Take a moment to press your left knee open into a figure four stretch. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you come to bring right knee up towards your chest. Maybe your hands come around it. Making sure to energize through left ankle to find safety in this pose. Maybe rock a little bit back and forth, side to side. finding a sweet spot. And when you're ready, releasing right leg down to the floor, deeply cross left leg over right, and come to hug knees into chest. Shift your hips a couple inches to the left as you release your knees to the right side, finding an eagle twist. Only once your legs have stopped moving, maybe your gaze shifts over left hand. Again, noticing your breath in this pose. When you're ready, shifting gaze up toward the ceiling. Release the cross of your ankles and pull your knees in towards your chest as you slowly roll back to your back. Neutralize your hips, giving your knees one more squeeze, rolling back and forth or up and down your mat. Maybe taking a happy baby here if that sounds good. Finding a little more movement in a cool down fashion. And eventually, when you're ready, releasing both feet down to the ground, letting legs extend long, feet fall open, shoulder blades walking under your back, palms face up, finding Shavasana. One more time, come to tune into your breath. And with an exhale, allow your eyes to close and release all control, allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. Feel your physical body melting into the floor. As you're sinking deeper and deeper into the pose. Relaxing more and more. Maybe feeling as though you can feel the sun on your skin as it shines down upon the entire body. Feeling the warmth. Coming to observe the body, physical, mental, emotional, energetic, without judgment or trying to change anything, just to observe. Noticing any changes in your body from when you came into class today. And eventually letting go of all focus altogether. When you're ready, start to deepen your breath. Begin to invite subtle movement back into the body, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe circling ankles and wrists. Shake your head no, massaging the back of your head on the mat. And if it's calling to you, maybe taking a big morning stretch. Eventually coming to roll onto your right side, using your right arm as a pillow. Maintaining the relaxed place that we found in Shavasana. Take a moment of gratitude on your side, yourself for showing up on your mat today, to your body for carrying you through this practice, and for this practice and everything that it has to offer us on and off the mat. When you're ready, press into your left hand, coming up to a comfortable seat. And find hands to knees, or if you'd like to join me, bringing hands to heart center. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of love, of truth, of light, and of peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. If you'd like to join me, bring thumb knuckles to third eye center. We'll seal this practice with the blessing of Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for your practice.